There we go. Hello, folks. Hello, welcome to Wednesday night Techthusiasm Live podcast. It's been a while. I was able to get on with the Home Theater Hub friends the other week and had a long talk. That was fun. They invited me to do the showcase tour and that. There hasn't been a lot of content coming coming to the channel in the last few weeks for a variety of reasons. We'll talk about a little bit about that tonight, but I got a whole itinerary. I made a little bullet list of the things on my mind, things that are happening to talk about, and it's like 30 bullets long. So maybe this will be like a 4-hour stream or something. Hopefully not. But in any case, hope everybody's having a happy holiday time. Hope everybody's feeling good, healthy, getting enjoyed Thanksgiving, getting ready for the end of year, New Year, Christmas holidays, and all of that stuff. Hopefully, you're getting some cool tech, some cool gear, some theater upgrades. There's definitely more than a few things kind of going on here for sure. So we'll talk about some of that stuff tonight. Some of it may be a little bit of a tease as well, with more to kind of announce coming up. Suffice to say, there's a whole lot of content that I've been wanting to be making, and I just haven't gotten to it for again for a variety of reasons. But rest assured, there will be plenty of stuff coming, new opportunities getting set up for 2025, and more. And I will get to all those videos at some point as well. So I haven't been feeling the best pretty much since a little bit before Thanksgiving. Having some issues, just kind of like too much computer time. I think big monitors in front of me all day long for work, a lot of time for spent on the channel and just other things, life and other interests, kind of leaving me not feeling too great. So I've needed to kind of manage that a little bit. And then I caught a cold. My son had a cold or something, some scum through Thanksgiving, and I ended up catching that right after. So I haven't been in a good talking voice to make any content for the last couple of weeks, but happily kind of coming out of that at the moment as well. So feeling better, hoping to kind of get a variety of ideas turned into content here over the next couple weeks. Use maybe a little bit of time with some of the time off and the break coming up. But yeah, we'll get onto some of those ideas. Do a couple little shout outs here. See a lot of some regulars. Welcome, or hello and welcome, Julius. Welcome, Srin. MJ, welcome. Yep, start a couple of minutes late. We were making Christmas cookies tonight, and there's a little bit of cleanup going on, so I was waiting for that to finish. As you can see, I'm not sitting in the office. I didn't want to sit at my big 43-inch monitor while we do this. I feel better kind of using the smaller screen. And hey, we got a little Christmas background and the quaint little fireplace and all that stuff going on. So Rob, welcome. Yeah, sitting hanging out for the whole stream tonight. So pretty cool. So what do you want to talk about? Where should we start? What's everybody been watching? Anybody caught any cool movies lately? What are you watching in your systems? We've kind of slowed down a little bit our crushing through the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I am happy that we have made it past content now, that both the TV show content and movie content that my wife and I have actually already watched. So now we're on into new stuff with the family. We finished up Shang-Chi, so I've watched my first new Marvel Cinematic Universe movie in a while with that. I thought Shang-Chi was actually pretty good. I know the Eternals and some of the more questionable content of the MCU is coming up next, but I think we all kind of liked Shang-Chi. I think I thought it was pretty good. And we just watched/rewatched Hawkeye. It's fitting Christmas show. So curious and eager to start some of the other new or new to us anyway, Marvel shows that are due up next. Watching little Christmas movies and stuff like that. We actually had the Illumination Grinch playing for a little while tonight. And then I was able, I wanted to kind of jump in with the advent of the new DC universe material coming out. I've been watching the episodes. I think there's 3 episodes now. I've watched the first 3 the Creature Commando show on HBO Max. Interesting. Definitely, you can definitely tell it's kind of like a James Gunn inspired thing, the way the music choices and stuff like that. Definitely very adult, so very mature. I feel like a lot of the DC content is going to come targeting a more mature audience. So it is what it is. I'll probably end up just watching a lot of that stuff myself, and we'll stick to the Marvel content with the family. Charlie's saying Red One isn't too bad. I don't know if that's available to watch at home yet. I actually didn't look on Kaleidoscape. I was hoping that might have been like a early access available to watch on K while still in theaters type of release. If so, I think I would pick that up. Oh, it is on Prime. Interesting. Cool. I'll have to check that out then for sure. I didn't realize that. We usually usually do like a web search or about like what are all the new Christmas movies that come to the streaming services. And last year we watched a few of them. There was a couple that were like fun enough. Holiday fare, Christmas fare. But we never really got into it. It feels like this holiday season is just like it's come and gone, and like it didn't even really kind of start. I think not feeling well, my son being sick, I was being sick, didn't see to us kind of doing a lot, and then Thanksgiving was so late. It's like Christmas is already next week, and we barely did a little decorating. We've really just begun kind of decorating some of the house more so. We got our tree and stuff right away. So that's been sitting over there in the corner for a while here since the day after Thanksgiving. But everything else has been pretty slow. Rob, Deadpool and Wolverine was hilarious. Yeah, not very kid friendly. My daughter wants to watch it, but it's going to be a while before the Deadpool movies make the family MCU list. We also did watch Cobra Kai, my wife and I. So season, whatever it is, season 6. It's like it feels like season 42, part 8 at this point. I wish that show would just come to an end, but at this point we're committed to see it through to the end, regardless of what happens and how absurd it may seem to get. So yeah, so we did keep up with those season parts as they've been coming out. Michael Lawless, welcome, friend, saying 3 Tarantino 4K movies coming out. Oh, January, nice. 7 in January as well. I saw I think I still need to buy it. I don't remember if I bought it or not. Terminator 2 hit 4K on Kaleidoscape. It's definitely going to pick that upgrade up. It was $14.99 as well, I think, on sale. I don't remember if I missed it or if I bought it. I'll have to check it after the stream. A new Karate Kid movie looks pretty good. Yeah, what's his name? Ralph Macchio is in that one as well. I don't know if they're just filming that one now or when that one's due to come out. Really eager to see what happens with the Captain America Brave New World movie as well, and what they're talking about in terms of reshoots with that and Thunderbolts. And there's been seems like there's been wavering. The rumor mill has wavered from like the movies were terrible and we just got to get over them so we can get to some better MCU movies to come, versus they fixed them up and they were actually doing pretty good and then they still tested bad. So it'll be I'm eager to see that. I'm still kind of hoping that we get caught up with the MCU by the time Captain America comes out. That might be a tall order, though. I'm not sure. I think we may end up marathoning through some other movies, because I'll make sure everybody's out. But we may be kind of surprising the kids with a rundown to like Universal Orlando. Yeah, it's like a family Christmas present gift kind of thing. So we need to have them through the Harry Potter movies and some other Universal fare to really appreciate kind of going to the park. So yeah, so that's what I've been up to in terms of consuming content. I do recommend Creature Commandos though. I think it was pretty good. I like GI Robot. I think they like it's very Guardians-esque. I think all the things that were good about Guardians of the Galaxy, the right bit of humor elements and good characterization, all that stuff. I think a little bit of depth too. I think that Gunn is bringing that to the start of the DC Universe stuff. So pretty good. Been reading a good amount of comics as well. So been enjoying that. Gaming wise, we've actually been gaming a lot in the household as well. I beat another game. I beat the what is it, 2013, the first of the 3 Tomb Raider remake series, like Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I forget what the other one was titled, but I knocked that one out pretty quick. A couple of marathon sessions. I was able to kind of get in there, able to play for one stretch while actually I was home, kind of not feeling well, and the family was out doing something. It's like, hey, I can actually sit and play some games in the afternoon. So I knocked that out, and then my son and I, we've really been tearing into Marvel Rivals, which has been pretty fun. So I am definitely not a super skilled competitive shooter player. I'm sorry, my throat is still feel like I'm talking through the scum. So bear with me with my voice and probably some coffee and throat clearing and extra stuff like that tonight. But I wanted to get on because again, it's been a while. But Rivals is really fun. We have a huge affinity, huge fandom for Marvel characters here, not just from the movies, but spanning back to the comics. We got a game. My son and I, we got another ongoing game, as we usually do, of Marvel Champions here on the coffee table right next to me. So a game that lets us play all these different Marvel characters like that, and the versus mode stuff is interesting, but I'm definitely not the best competitive shooter player, and my son is kind of new to the whole genre. So it's fun kind of playing. We actually, we've realized that if we try to play together with the two of us, we actually kind of bring most of the teams down. So it's better for us to just pass the controller back and forth and play individually and hope that we get matched up with some better players as well. So I did have we did try out some multiplayer stuff, but again, having a good time with that. I'm still working on the concept for the pending PC build. I shared that to the community tab, or like an early version of the build, a couple weeks ago, and I'm still kind of been continuing to optimize it. I think it's still going to be an AMD build, 9800X3D probably. And I think I know the case. I was going down in size and back up in size on the case. I was contemplating maybe a rack case again, but I think I've got it sorted out. So now all we got to do is just wait until CES, and we'll get the NVIDIA announcements. We'll get probably some other computing tech announcements, and I may go ahead and start ordering some things before the end of the year. I gotta see how all of the channel finances kind of turn out as we go into the very last week of December, or last couple weeks of December coming up, relative to income versus expenses and stuff like that. The video cards, of course, won't be available until January, but it may make sense to pick up some more of the PC parts. You can't get those 9800 X3D CPUs hardly anywhere, but I have a Micro Center, little bit of a drive. But I've noticed, like, every several days, they'll get a load of the CPUs in stock, and then they'll kind of sell out over a couple of days, and then there'll be a couple more days, and then there'll be another stock. So I think that might be what I need to do. Just go grab the CPU and then kind of order all the other parts, and then just let it sit. And when we get the GPU, we get the GPU. So I've had this PS5 Pro. It's still sitting. Well, it's actually sitting in my office right now. The box is sitting here. I brought the box up because I was essentially prepared to go ahead and wipe it and return it. I never even made a single piece of content about it. We did put a decent amount of time on it, kind of what I would call evaluation time, taking a look at just how it runs and a variety of games and graphic comparisons to the PC and stuff like that. And there's just still no substitute for what you can get out of having the computer, and what the computer is capable of pushing out graphics-wise and fidelity-wise and quality and all of that. So that's where we're going to stick. My son is very much of the mindset as well, saying, Dad, we're PC gamers. So it is what it is. And I think if we play games together, it's just going to end up being more so same screen games, or we'll play single player, but we'll just pass the controller back and forth while we work our way kind of through stuff. Sony's pretty much announcing more of the titles to come to PC. We're going to get Spider-Man 2, I think, in February. I think The Last of Us Part 2 was just announced at the Game Awards. So I think all of that stuff is, I think everything's coming pretty much. So the PS5 is going to go back. I need to take it back soon because I think I'm either coming up on the end of the return period or just get the charge basically off the credit card or off of the account before I have to pay the bill. But Rivals actually has multi-platform play, so we were messing around. It's like, yeah, let's go ahead and give it a try. So I ended up hooking up the PS5 in the office to my TV/computer monitor in there, and then so one of us was playing in there on the PS5, and one of us was playing here on the PC. And again, we hooked up a couple times. It did let us kind of complete some of the challenges and like multi-character missions and stuff, daily missions or monthly missions that were set. But I'm not going to stick with it just for that. It's cool that the game was free to play, so I didn't actually have to buy it. On the PS5, we were able to go ahead and still play with the crossplay. So that's pretty. That was pretty fun, but not worth keeping overall. So that's going to go back. We're going to do the PC build. I'll probably do, when I finalize the PC build, I probably will make some kind of a video, basically just kind of like laying out the build and my mindset behind it. So my intention is to build an entirely new computer, ground up. I know there was a lot of replies to my community post about like, oh, that's like wasteful. You can like reuse this. It's like, well, it's you kind of need everything brand new. You get the new CPU, it's a new socket. You need a new motherboard. A new motherboard is DDR5 RAM instead of 4. Everything's PCI Gen 5. So, and definitely need a beefier power supply. And I want to put it in a specific type of case, like a fishbowl showcase like style type case, so that when it's sitting up on top of the rack, everything is a little bit more facing forward and all of the cabling is coming out of the back. And if I decide to bring that case up here, it will fit and look better sitting kind of in the living room that way. So we'll see if it works out as well. I could conceive of potentially doing like probably a Saturday or Sunday live stream and with my son and my daughter too, if she's interested actually to participate. But I would like to basically teach them how to build the computer, do it as like a family thing, but maybe we'll do that as a live and hang out and build that all up together. So I think that would be pretty cool. I figured I'd share this as well. Hey, we'll say it's why not. I make sure I'm not showing anything actually that's private. I don't think so. I actually I did go through as we were configuring accounts and we were getting into Rivals and setting stuff up. I'm like, I threw away my classic gamer tag that I've used everywhere for 20 years. So Trax Z is now kind of a thing of the past, and I'm representing the channel, representing the brand when I play video games nowadays. So we are Techthusiasm almost everywhere. I think maybe just Xbox is the last one that I need to update. But so this was pretty cool. I saw that this just popped up tonight. So just to show that I'm not a gaming poser. I actually have some gaming chops and actually playing the PC. So the Steam replays are out. I think the PS5 or PlayStation platform like year in review replay stuff is coming next week or coming soon. So I like when they do this. I think this is a real cool aspect of like checking out your account and seeing what's going on. So I didn't even actually really look through this for myself yet. So I figured, hey, why not? We'll take a few minutes. It'd be fun on the channel and talk about some of the gaming retrospective from the last year. So Steam Replay 2024. Yeah, 15 games played, less than last year, 4 new games, 192 achievements. So playing with my son, we've definitely done a little more achievement hunting together. So I don't really go out of my way. I haven't gone out of my way for Steam achievements. It's one thing that I do like about the PlayStation platform better is I think something about it, to me, it's more fun to hunt trophies than it is Steam achievements, but we do try to get the Steam achievements. So 192 is pretty good. 7-day longest streak in early November. I think that was actually just a little bit before I was starting to kind of feel not so great. So games beat, yeah. Batman Arkham Knight. I finally put that game to bed. I've been having partial progress in Arkham Knight for so long. finished all the DLC. So pretty significant part of my playtime this year was that. I think there's some more charts down below. Rivals is popping up real quick though. That's only been in the last couple weeks, but 19 sessions, 17% of our game time. Again, that's my son and I largely playing together. If we have an opportunity where got an hour here and there and hop in after dinner for a little bit, something like that. And then this has actually mostly been my son. I platinum Spider-Man remastered, and I almost platinumed the Miles expansion on PlayStation 5 shortly after the PS5 launched, and they were remastered for that. But he's, of course, again, Super Marvel fans, so he was interested to start playing that. He was going at it pretty good, so he was playing. I would sit with them and just to like spend time together playing games. But what my goal was, I really want to have him finish Spider-Man and then beat Miles, because then when Spider-Man 2 comes out, we'll play that one, like actually pass the controller back and forth, play it together. But he kind of fizzled out on playing that. He was getting back into Minecraft and stuff. So I'd see he'd be like, "Dad, can I play video games?" Like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead, play some games." And it's like, "Oh crap, you're playing Minecraft? Play Spider-Man, dude." So that we can get to Spider-Man 2 together. So how do we compare to the rest of the Steam community? So this seems very surprising to me. I think like they've been setting records. I'm pretty sure I had seen updates about like, maximum concurrent users on Steam is just kind of continuing to ratchet up. But some of these numbers really surprised me that if this is right, we unlocked 192 achievements. Steam median is 13, only 13 achievements. That seems incredibly small. We played 15 games, Steam median 4, longest streak 7, so we're pretty close there. 23% new releases, which I think a lot of that time is probably, well, Lego 2K Drive. We played quite a good bit of that. That was new this year. I think we picked it up shortly after it came out, and then Marvel Rivals taking up a bit of that. So we play more new releases than the Steam community largely does. I got the diagram here. You are what you play. Let's see the spider graph. So mostly a lot of racing, because we played, I think earlier in the year we were still playing the Hot Wheels Unleashed, and then Lego 2K Drive took up a good bit of that. I don't think they classify Batman Arkham Knight is probably open world, so that's why the maximized here on the open world. Warhammer 40K, I did play and beat Space Marine. I'm looking forward to playing Space Marine 2, actually. It's basically like single player Gears of War, so pretty good. But I don't want to play Space Marine 2 until the 5090 PC build comes along. A lot of Lego as well. We finished up this year Marvel Superheroes 2 and some other Lego stuff with my son. So closer look at our top played games. Yep, there it is, Batman Arkham Knight. So you can see how I kind of pick stuff up, and I don't game for a while, and I put it down and come back to it. But I made a concerted effort in September to put that one to rest. So I didn't really achievement hunt this game, but I feel like this is pretty good amount of achievements. But I did really play this one to completion. I completed every side thing except for the Riddler trophies. And it pains me that the most complete ending required finding all of the Riddler trophies. I thought that was asking too much of players, given there's like a few hundred of the Riddler things in the world. But I captured every other villain. I did all the other side missions, really got kind of maximum fun and value out of Arkham Knight. So I'm ready for what they do next. There's a lot of rumors about Rocksteady kind of going back after failures of like the Suicide Squad thing, to kill the Justice League, and Gotham Knights. I think all the poor reception of those two games. I hope they go back to some core roots and like just give us treat Batman with respect and give us another really good Batman game. So there's Marvel Rivals December. So starting to pick up these achievements and having fun with this. We'll see if this has legs, if we really stick with it for a while. I don't think we're going to be competing for any like platinum competitive rank levels or anything like that, but I think we can still have some fun with it. And I believe the roadmap of this game is going to be really strong with new heroes and expansions. I think it's tomorrow. It might have been today or tomorrow. I believe there's like a holiday event coming to Rivals. So there's like a Splatoon mode where everybody's Jeff the Land Shark, and you got to spray his water and like paint the levels. So we're gonna check that out anyway and get all the stuff. So there's Spider-Man. As you can see, my son, he was getting in here in November, but he hasn't picked it up yet in December because I don't know, he didn't really lose interest in it. It's just a matter of we don't spend hours and hours and hours on the screens. So limited time has to be allocated and chosen. So as we beat this one, Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. So my son and I now, we've co-opted and pretty much beat all of the Marvel Lego superhero games for sure at this point, and some of the DC ones. So that was pretty fun. Lego, these were really well done. So many heroes, lots of Marvel historic fun and stuff like that. So we had a good time with those. Tomb Raider, November and December, pretty even split, I think, here, but finished the story. I did an achievement hunt here, and I didn't go out of my way to find all the collectibles and stuff. I did a reasonable amount of exploration, but not over a ton. I could probably, if I wanted to, jump back in for like an hour now that I beat the game and the world is open. I could probably go get another 5 achievements, perhaps. Maybe I'll do that just to do it, but I'm not going back to get all of them. So playtime by month, we've definitely been playing more games compared to earlier in the year. So let's see, early in the year. Oh yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. That actually just got some DLC, but we did that as a family. We played that as a family, 4-player, beat 'em up, kind of got into that. I want to get the family on the, there's a G.I. Joe, like 2D side scroller beat 'em up game that just came out recently. So Lego Batman, my son and I, after we finished the Marvel stuff, or in conjunction with playing the Marvel stuff, we had been playing from the first Lego Batman. I don't think we beat the villain, or we beat the hero story, but we didn't finish the villain story. So I think we got to go back and do that. Overcooked. I don't remember how far we were in on Overcooked, the all-you-can-eat edition. We were playing Overcooked 2 as a family. Those are pretty fun, but those get really tough, and then people aren't doing their jobs, and it starts to become not as fun. Lego 2K Drive, we haven't touched that in a little while. That was fun though. And then yeah, Batman. There's Warhammer. I knocked out Warhammer real fast. Decent little game, but again, excited to play Space Marine 2. So that's that anyway. Most of your playtime was with the controller. 99%. I am not a mouse and keyboarder for sure. 15 games, 90 sessions. 99% controller, and the 1% is not actually gaming. It's probably just being in the Steam app with the controller to manage and launch stuff up. Longest streak. Yeah, we tinkered around. This is when we were actually, I think, this is when we were comparing the PS5 Pro. That's also why there was a long streak. So we were looking at Doom, Ratchet and Clank, and stuff like that. So we compared a lot of these games against each other. So timeline, is the grid view better than the timeline view? Kind of almost done here. Yeah, so Shredder's Revenge, Lego Batman, Overcooked. Heave-Ho is a great one too. Good family game. I don't know if we've actually ever finished all the levels in that game. I can't play this one with the kids. They just get in here and it's open world chaos. I'm an objective based gamer. So right, anyway, Batman, Goose Game, that's another one my kids were playing. We basically just play under the same Steam account, and that's it. Thank you, Techthusiasm. So yeah, I'm looking forward. I think I'm going to try to bring more gaming activity into my to-dos in 2025. So we'll see how that goes. But if anybody has I'll probably share the Steam replay in a community post. So, and ask folks if you've got, yeah, Spiffy's saying PlayStations is already out. If anybody in the channel community has their whatever platform of choice replay, and share it to the coming community post, and we'll, I'd like to see them, basically check them out, talk about them. All right, so let's talk about some stuff that's kind of coming, some things that are going on, and I'll kind of weave in and out of a few things here. So I put up teaser posts again. I wanted to make more content. I totally missed the ball on making PS5 Pro content. Um, I've barely eked out some tvOS 18.2 content talking about the uh, anamorphic aspect mode. Um, there's been some other stuff that I've wanted to make content about, but I have lots of things kind of sitting here. So the Ubiquity stuff is absolutely fantastic. I give it my full accolades. The Dream Machine, the cable modem, the enterprise switch, and all of that is just absolutely fantastic. I know folks had mentioned to me about the Wi-Fi 7 access point is supposed to be having some trouble and stuff like that. No trouble with mine. I've got one access point in the middle of the main floor of our house, and that's it. It works everywhere, all the way out to the garage. The Tesla can get on the Wi-Fi, and all the way upstairs and all the way in the basement. The tonal is on the Wi-Fi with one access point, so that's all working great. And I'm ready for phase two. So we're going with the cameras in phase two, and the doorbell. So I got this upside down actually. So I ordered this stuff around Black Friday time. I missed the boat on all of the Ubiquity Black Friday deals, unfortunately, and I still have not been contacted by any kind of like Ubiquity creator program people. So if you're watching this, I'd love to get connected with you folks. I think your stuff is great, and I'm excited to do more of it. So as it is, I am just straight up ordering all my Ubiquity stuff right from their webpage, paying full price and all that. So no collaborations, no accommodations, no discounts. I just think it's good stuff and I like it. I haven't actually made any content about the interfaces or the configuration and stuff like that. I did the unboxing, the hands-on, the installs, and it's just another thing that's on my list of content that I want to do. But we bought 8 cameras. So these are the G5 domes. So I went with the G5 dome for the interior of the house. The plan ultimately is to have like 2 of these, I think, on what will be our main floor, which will give us the kind of the full view of the main floor of the house, and it will cover our main entry doors. Then one in the basement and then one in the upstairs as well, which will kind of basically just look down our hallway of the upstairs. So that was what was pre-wired. I will be working with Dan DeCarlo, my local friend. He's been on the channel sometimes as well. He runs an integrator business called Audio Vision here in Southeast Michigan. Amongst the many things that we're going to do, I'm basically lining up to spend a day with Dan here and getting the cameras installed and configured, getting all the wire located and pulled through, because some of it is exposed and some of it's hidden. He knows where everything was because he wired the house originally, but we'll get the cameras. So the G5 domes are going inside. We got 4 of those, and then we went with the G4 Pro. These were a Black Friday special. So G4 Pros, these will be the outside camera locations, 4 of these, which will essentially give us a view of all four sides of the house. So we'll have one on the front porch, which will look at the front door, all of the front porch, and then the better part of the front yard. We'll have one under the overhang on the side of the garage, which will see the whole driveway and the whole south side of the house. We'll have one on the back porch that will look kind of down. We'll see the back porch, we'll see the door, and it will give us the full view of like our proper backyard. And then we'll have another one kind of going down what would be the west side of our house. That one we'll have to position kind of carefully because I don't necessarily want it to be looking at like the neighbor's house or seeing into their house and their windows and stuff like that. But I want to get all 4 kind of full, full view going there. So that's that one. Srin's asking, are we going to integrate these into Control4? I don't yet know, quite honestly. We need to figure it out. So it's something that I'm going to learn as we go. I know that I've been happy with the Ubiquity stuff. and I'm okay with a lot of things being part of like the Ubiquity network setup of our house. And then from there, we'll see what other integrations may be possible. I don't even know if this stuff crosses over into HomeKit. So like, can I get, if we're sitting here and the TV is on and somebody rings the doorbell, which I have right here, right? But, and we get the right signal through, can that get to Control4? And can I end up like popping up a feed of the camera onto the television via Apple TV? So I don't know. I'm curious to learn if there's not a significant crossover of integration between Ubiquity and HomeKit and Control4, then obviously I won't be able to take advantage of that kind of stuff. But if there is, then I definitely want to do it and try to explain it and showcase it and stuff on the channel here. Yeah, Michael, G4s are built so well, all metal housing, nice. Those are like 300. These are like 300 piece, more than that, but they're like 450 regular price. They were like 350 or 325 with the Black Friday deal. This was not a Black Friday deal, but I think the G4 domes are like $100 and some a piece. And then I did get the doorbell component. So doorbell, to be quite honest, is one of the things that in Control4 has been an utter failure mode of having like the doorbell in Control4 is so like unsensibly complex. Like you have a button, right? You have a button on a thing outside that's connected to the Control4 controller as like a relay input. Control4 senses the relay being hit when somebody pushes the button, and then it engages the whole house audio system. It needs to send a signal to the Anthem MDX, which needs to wake up an amplifier for a speaker zone or zones, and then it plays a wave file, which sounds like a doorbell chime. It takes forever. There's been so many times where it's like somebody's here, they're out there hitting the doorbell, and we have no idea. So real big pain in our side. This I expect to just absolutely work. So, and then of course, we've got the direct doorbell cam feed and stuff, and that will tie into triggering the other cameras and all of that together. So this is the combo unit for the doorbell. So we have the doorbell unit itself, and then we have the chime. So we'll put this chime, I think I know where we'll put it. It'll kind of like basically be in the kitchen. All of this stuff is PoE, which is fantastic. I've really come to understand the planning brilliance of things being PoE. And it makes me want like I want a PoE Apple TV. I mean, heck, give me a PoE television or a PoE plus television if I can get it. PoE is absolutely amazing. So, and I'm glad, thanks to Michael Lawless there, he's the one that kind of recommended or not recommended, but helped to say like, let's just get the full 48. Every port's PoE. I got the ultimate flexibility, and all of that stuff is there. So in the kitchen, in one wall of the kitchen, kind of opposite our island, we have 2 Ethernet drops that have just been there available. So I think what we're going to do, hopefully this can be accomplished. And again, Dan will help me with kind of some of the infrastructure pieces of this, but one of those Ethernet lines, we'll take it off of the plug and it will become the PoE line for the chime, and we'll install the chime right there. And then when it chimes, that will be audible, certainly all around the main floor of the house. And it should chime, hopefully without being too loud in the direct vicinity. It should also be audible into the major parts of the basement and even upstairs. So we'll see. Another alternative location could be over here in the living room, but these are both independently PoE units. I forget how much this thing was. I want to say it wasn't exactly cheap, but it wasn't crazy expensive, a few $100, maybe more than that actually, as well. So we've got this stuff. I've got this stuff in hand, ready to go. Yeah, a couple comments. So Michael saying you need Homebridge for UI into HomeKit. Okay, yep. So we'll see then how that ends up going. if we end up still using like the Synology NAS or something, I don't know, something to be the home bridge. We'll see. In addition to home bridge, there's also a pretty good paid driver for the Unify Protect. So and I thought the C4 chime is good. So I guess that maybe that's the problem, is like we were not set up to use a specific C4 chime. Again, we've been having our doorbell sound pipe through the distributed audio in the house, and that part has not been reliable at all. There's a chime that is Wi-Fi. Oh, small plug for an outlet. Yeah, in some ways that might have been easier than this, but I don't know. We'll see how it works out. So Mike saying, I found that the little light that lights up the area, that lights up the area around your door when it senses motion is useful. Nice, cool. So in addition, speaking of the doors, so the other stuff that we're going to do with Dan is we've had the same door locks for about 10 years now. And that's been another thing that just hasn't worked quite right in Control4. They work in terms of programming them. We can trigger them. We can lock and unlock them programmatically, remotely with the Foresight subscription access in the app. All that stuff is good, but you're supposed to be able to, actually, I don't think I can really show this, but you're supposed to really be able to manage the locks in the Control4 app. Like I should be able to go into my C4 app. I can see the lock. I can go into its configuration. I can set passcodes for guests and other temporary folks that may need access to the house, pet sitters, whatever it may be. I should be able to manage those codes, add them, delete them. I should be able to see more of the history. And I don't know what it is. None of that stuff has ever worked well with these specific locks. So we've struggled with that for a long time. It's such a like really needed element of the system that should be easy to use, and it should just work, and it doesn't. So I'm done messing with it. We're just going to get some new locks, basically. Brand new locks, current models, more recent models, with the newer modules and interface modules and all that stuff. And lock technology has advanced quite a lot since 10 years ago. So now, of course, there's like biometric locks, and there's the locks that use your phone. So you just walk up to it, and just like the Tesla or whatever, right? You walk up to your front door, which is set with the home key. I think they call it, right? Apple home key. And then the door lock will unlock. I don't think we're going to do any of that stuff because we already have it on C4. So we'll just get a basic non-touch screen touchpad. Hopefully make the batteries last a little longer and all that as well. And then hopefully it works. The only caveat, again, being we need to be able to fully and properly access and manage the locks in the app. So we're going to do all three of them, all three doors, 3 new locks, get that working, get that gremlin out of the system and that thorn out of the side. We're going to do the thermostat. So same thing. We have a 10-year-old, at this point, we have a 10-year-old thermostat on the system. It's a very early, I think, Ecobee model. It works, but it hasn't worked completely for a little while now. I feel like it's really weird. Like it still connects to Wi-Fi, but I no longer am able to like register or see the thermostat in my Ecobee account. And we've never been able to get it like properly working or integrated in Control4 as well. So again, the idea being here, we want all of these programmable control points to be in Control4 and work like they're supposed to. So the challenge with changing the thermostat is we have a pretty complex HVAC system. It's geothermal, which does both our heating and cooling. It's a 2-stage geothermal for the heating. So we need a thermostat that can do all of that. And then we also have an air purifier that runs, and we do a lot of like air recirculation. So we need a thermostat that can do like fan cycles and fan management. They don't all do that very well programmatically. And then we need a thermostat that can manage 2 accessories simultaneously, because we have a humidifier and a dehumidifier, whole house on the HVAC system. And I'm amazed that like the most capable thermostat units from a lot of the manufacturers nowadays are single accessory. So it's been a pain to try to actually find a multi-accessory thermostat that also has Control4 integration and fits with the other things that we're looking to have it do. So I think we found one. I think we found what we're going to use. And of course, I didn't write it down in my list of bullets here. It's escaping me. Give me 1 second. It is the Honeywell. Honeywell T10 Plus is, I think, what we're going to go with this time. So we're going to get the locks procured, get the thermostat procured. Dan's going to come over. We're going to put that stuff in. We're going to install the cameras. We're going to take the doorbell out of the C4 system. We're going to put the Ubiquity doorbell in, get that all working. We'll try to get the stuff tied into HomeKit and Control4. And as in addition to that, we're going to upgrade our Control4 controller. So that's like one of the last things that in all of the setup here that is like a last generation model. We have a Control4 EA5 controller. We're going to update that to a Core 5. So and get a variety of benefits and things. I'll talk about it more to come, what we may get out of it. But I do know that like Apple Music and some of the other newer features that are coming in the Control4 operating system are no longer running on the EA5. So you need the Core 5 for that stuff. And my understanding out of CEDIA and the announcements that were made and the stuff that's coming is that there's quite a bit more software and features coming to Control4, and Apple integrated stuff is what I'm really excited for. I'd really like to see more voice S-Lady type of capability built in without having to go to home bridges and stuff like that. More native support. And I have a feeling, my gut tells me that just like last time, I moved from the HC800, I think it was, to the EA5 after like new features started requiring the EA5. And so kind of in the same boat right now, is that I think some of the new features are going to start requiring the core controllers. And so it probably should have upgraded already before, but yeah, so that's going to be, it's a week of work. Yeah, we'll see. The goal is to get it all done in one day. I'm hoping that we can get Dan over here early, and he's able to just stay late enough, and he comes, brings I got these pieces. He just comes and brings the other pieces. And then by the time he leaves, we are back. Everything is installed. I can do some of like the finer configuration and adjustment and maybe programming and elements like that. But I just want everything working the way it's supposed to work, and all online and communicating and stuff as well. I need to go back down. I think we've got a couple of other functions in the system that need to be optimized. I want to try, or actually, I think the Kaleidoscape actually is still not working since the driver update on Control4. So I need to verify that, though. We haven't actually gone down and watched a movie in probably close to a month at this point, actually, since we did Shang-Chi. Dan told me that he updated our Control4 driver for Kaleidoscape when the 10.20 updates came out. But when I did try to go use it, I believe just after that, it still wasn't working right. So we need to probably just make some very minor tweak and get that done. And I think there's a few other things. Oh, the Wattbox. That's one of the other things. So I got all the Wattbox stuff installed, but my Wattbox equipment is not connected in an oversee that's visible to me. So I have my dealer Snap One oversee account, but my Control4 equipment resides in Dan's Control4 Snap One customer account. I'm a customer account with him, and I'm a dealer for myself. but my Control4 system, he's my integrator, and I'm not a Snap One Control4 integrator to take control of my own stuff yet. So I haven't been able to do any of the more advanced programming or oversee stuff with the Wattbox gear. The Wattbox stuff is running; it's still running great. Per the last video that I updated now or uploaded a couple weeks ago was kind of taking a look at some of the power loads. There's some really good feedback in that video as well. But everything's still running great with it, but I want to get it more configured programmatically. And I still gotta rejigger a couple how a couple of things are plugged in actually. So that, and then in conjunction with that, in the programming, to be able to programmatically control the power state of the outlets of the Wattbox in Control4 config, they have to have relays added, and then each plug of the Wattbox needs to be like linked to a relay. And I'd also like to see if we can do a little bit of tweaking in the system with like delays and power on timings, particularly for the theater. When we turn on the theater, can we add a little bit more of a stretch so that like the projector, the Anthem, the MadVR, like some of these things turn on with a little bit more of delay between them, just to even out some of the initial power load that everything is kind of going through there. Sammy's saying Control4 X4 looks nice. Once it's out, I might start using tablet more. I haven't looked at that. Let's do a quick Control4 X4. Oh, it's like dedicated launching. Or here, I can share this. Let's go back to this. Just share. Next big thing is coming. Next generation Control4 OS, as customers demand more from their connected systems, you need an interface that can keep up. X4 fundamentally transforms the way. Oh, so this, it's not just the tablets. Yeah, okay, sorry. This is the new OS. Yeah, I'm very excited for this. I think this is going to be really cool. And in fact, yeah, new home screens, more personalization, widgets, routines. There you go, boom. Extended Apple HomeKit integration. Customers can now independently manage devices, access scenes, convert all devices in the Apple ecosystem into customizable interfaces, everything from CarPlay, Apple widgets, and of course, the S Lady. Yep. Yeah, so this is what I'm super jazzed for. Open beta begins late 2024. Ooh, I may need to talk to Dan about that. Customers with an active Control4 Connect, yeah, it's not called Foresight, I guess, maybe the Connect subscription, which I have that. So yeah, this will be cool. And so this is what I'm afraid of. I feel like there's going to be stuff with this platform that springs forward, and it's going to really want or kind of demand the Core 5 in the setup to take advantage of it. So stay tuned, and there's so much stuff. There's just so much stuff to make videos about in the way that I like to talk about things and deep dive into stuff and all of that. So they did also, I had this on my separate bullet list to kind of talk about separately, although this is going to be, of course, it's dead. Still opportunity to increase the battery life of these things. I have the Halo here. They did, I did get the Halo update not that long ago, but they totally changed the usability of the Halo Touch. It's more of like a darker style rather than color. I think they did that specifically to help kind of prolong the battery. This center stage camera is really kind of wonky. But I want to make a video about that as well, kind of showing that off. I think there are some really nice navigational improvements, like getting around some of the screens of the Halo Touch have improved. Still, the battery life could get better. This thing's only been sitting out for a couple of days, and it is 100% dead. So, although I wonder, I think I do this to myself in some respect, because we turn our Wi-Fi, this is my suspicion, is that we turn our Wi-Fi off overnight. So like 12:30 a.m., the radio shut down, and then they come back on just before like I would normally get up and need them to be on for work or to use the tonal and stuff like that. And so I have a feeling that overnight this thing sits constantly trying to reconnect to Wi-Fi and basically sucks its battery dry. If anybody else has Halo touches, I'm curious if you get longer battery longevity than I do, and if that's part of the reason why. All right, so let's see. So yeah, we talked about that, thermostat locks, the controller. So yeah, super challenge to Dan. See if we can get all of that stuff done in one day. I don't know if we'll live stream or vlog any of it, but sometimes actually the channel can really be an impediment to just getting stuff done, because like sometimes you just want to work on stuff and get it done, and filming and trying to make content out of stuff gets in the way of that. And when time is limited, it can be a challenge. That's why a lot of times, like my videos are they're not always like in the mix of doing the stuff. They're kind of more reflective or kind of talk about it after. So let's see what else is on the list here. If anybody else has questions and whatnot, fire them out, and happy to chat and kind of go back on any of these topics as well. Got some more friends popping up. Welcome, Josh. Hey, Jeremy, haven't seen all your updates. If you consider putting in Home Assistant, I haven't. I've seen a lot of references to like what Home Assistant is, but it's not something that I've actually looked at or separately. So if is that something inside Control4 or outside Control4? I'm really a noob to the idea of what that is. I think you posted about it too, Josh, on the K-scape owners forum. So yeah, Sren saying, bet that's what it is. Seen similar things with Savant remotes when using a remote to Wi-Fi. If the Wi-Fi is not on, it tries to look. Yep. Sammy's saying his says always sits in the cradle. The one that gets the most use. So it's not that big of a pain point. I mean, it's truly really a first world problem, but I keep the cradle in a closet in the hallway over there, and sometimes you just want to, you don't go that way. You sit down on the couch. It's like, oh shoot, it's cold outside. I just turned the fireplace on and grabbed my blanket, and now I got to get back up and get the remote out because I put it away. But it is what it is. All right, let's talk about a couple quick dealer things. So the business side of Techthusiasm is going pretty awesome. I did tweak up the webpage a bit, minorly. So if you go to techthusiasm.net or just jeremypyle.com, they're both basically the same webpage. I added a brand listing with hopefully a cool looking kind of actually here it's YouTube. You're supposed to tell, not show, right? So let's just do this here real quick. So I tweaked up some of the pictures, a little bit of formatting, a little bit of the text. This will be coming soon as well. So after the new year, once the Christmas tree is gone, it's actually been 2 years ish since I did a tour of the living room, and then the last home theater tour video was the beginning of 2024. So I think content wise, my goal is going to be at a minimum to like refresh new home theater tour videos every year at the beginning of the year. So I need to really do those and get those updated. But things are coming. More things are coming. Things are kind of changing. But I did build up a brand listing here. So if anybody's curious, because I'm talking to more and more folks, this is actually starting to take up more of like the time spent around the channel, it's just fine. It's actually really fun. It's just fun like talking with folks. I'll get on the phone with people and probably talk longer than I need to or longer than I should, because I just like talking home theater with people. So we end up kind of like hanging out, talking about the hobby, going over stuff, talking about people's projects and all that. So anyway, I did add up a brand listing, and there are a couple of notable additions. So through some of the distribution that I have access to, I actually do now have access to Audio Control, which is not a brand that I've really done I've never used or bought myself, but it's kind of like stands out to me as another kind of really boutique-y uh, um, audio equipment, processors, amplifiers, stuff like that in the hobby. But I have it if anybody's interested. And I am also now direct with Seymour. So, of course, I've had the 163-inch Seymour um, fixed frame center stage XD screen in the theater for what, two years? I think now it's been. Great screen, love it. Super happy with it. It's worked great, and I was able to get signed up with them. So if anybody's shopping screens, this is really helping me kind of complete or get to a more complete offering of like the video chain. Right, we got Kaleidoscape, we got projectors, JVC, Sony, we've got Seymour. So more of the pieces got Panamorph, more of the pieces kind of all coming together. So that's there. And then not really much other changes. I do have still a variety of the affiliate things set up there. Contact, of course, if anybody is interested in stuff, this is the best way to just directly get in touch with me, fill out the form. I'll get an email notification. If you give me your phone number and stuff, I'll be in touch right away, or as right away as I can, depending on the time of day and day of the week and stuff like that. So yeah, so overhauled that, adding some stuff there. Let's see a couple comments. Mike saying, "Ooh, really like to move to X4 over 70 dimmers that they've said won't be supported moving forward." Ouch. Yeah, that's a bigger that'll be something actually if it's really that much of a move forward that old elements are not supported. Srin saying, "I know you talk about possibly replacing your screen with the Stewart." Yeah. Bought that screen and it's shipping soon. Nice. Yeah, Stewart and Seymour are both great options. I might even try to actually just get both available to me as well. I think sometimes one or the other may have offerings that fit a certain setup or situation better. Chris and Sammy were recommending to me, Chris Deering, the idea of like, if I wanted to get more brightness, one of the ways to do it would be to change over to the Stewart Studio Tech G4 Ultra Perf. So I could maintain the acoustic transparency, but instead of having what is supposed to be effectively a unity gain screen with the center stage, the G4 is a 1.3. So there'd be quite a bit more light. That could be enough light to turn on the color filter with the projector and still maintain like 105 nits ish. So there's some merits there. I'm not prioritizing this. This was just something kind of we talked about. Yeah, there is Sam. Yeah, your room with ultra proof would be great. Brightness would be noticeable. So we'll see. If and when I would decide to make that tweak in the system, I would end up just kind of reaching out and talking to Stewart and probably try to do everything if I could at once, which would be to add them as a dealer rep brand, and then change my stuff over to that as well. But I got too many other things going on at the moment to also try to work that. And Michael saying now it's a race between Anthem. Yeah, Trinoff, and I would say Anthem. I would really love to have Anthem. Of course, it's definitely one of the brands that I have a huge affinity for, and I still remain convinced that like the AVM 90 is one of the best buys. One of the best buys out there. So I need to. I've sent some emails in. Let me put it that way. It's just a matter of like connecting with the right folks, perhaps. And there is a little bit more involved here as well. I think to sell Anthem, you need to sell this. Yeah, Anthem and Paradigm. There's a little bit of like multi-branding that goes together. Excuse me. And I think they may have some other very specific dealer requirements and stuff as well. But all things in time. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So we'll see what happens. Sammy's saying you could use the filter for sure. Yeah, use the filter, still get 100 nits, right? Just not use it and get more brightness. Yep. Those aperture and gains more contrast. Yeah. Yeah, it's on the list. It's on the list of things to consider. I've been wanting to kind of sweep through the system as I have been and get some of these other elements taken care of before focusing too much on more like home theater elements. So hence the network stuff, the power management stuff, the cameras, the control system elements, all of that. And then gaming PC is very relevant because the new GPUs coming out. So all of that stuff is at the forefront. I may also go ahead and optimize some of, where did I have this? I wanted to talk about this briefly. Let me pull up this link. Excuse me. All right, where did my tabs go? Let's go back to here. Okay, so I put up that video. So we put the Wattbox stuff in. I got the 820 20 amp Wattbox PDU. We got the 2000 VA UPS. Again, everything's working great. I wanted to run the experiment of connecting everything on that chain and see how it goes. So, and it seemed to be working fine. I did the video where I did the measurements. I know there was some feedback in that video where like, well, just watching the power meter isn't the full story. That's like a sampled and smoothed over type of measurement of the power usage. It's not showing like real instantaneous spikes. So I would like to find a way to potentially try to measure that. But I was contemplating two things. That one, if in fact it turns out not to be a great idea to run the NAD M28 amps on the UPS, then I think what I'm going to do is just grab one of these guys. This is pretty cool. This is a cool little device. So it's the 820 20 amp rated again. So we're keeping the higher current feed power conditioner with 2 individually controlled and metered outlets. So it's a little 2 plug 820 watt box basically. So you got the cord on the other side. This could still actually be connected to the network and managed and measured and controlled, but this would be perfect. It's not very, I forget what the price is, honestly. It's not very expensive. I want to say that it was on the order of list price. Actually, so I'll take that back. List price is $500. So it's not exactly the cheapest thing, but this would give me power conditioning and protection for the amps while getting them off the UPS. So if I may end up doing this, and what I would do is just get one of these. I would put it down in the bottom of the rack, and then the amps can plug right into it, and then this would plug into the wall, and it would be its own watt box. And I may be more inclined to do this sooner than later because of something else that I'm gonna tease a bit tonight. That's going to be happening or is in the process of happening within the system right now. The other thing that I wanted to do that I may end up picking up sooner than later, let me find it first, is getting that here. Actually, I think I can show it right here. Let's go back to power, UPS, and getting the NZ900 protected on a UPS, just in case we happen to be watching a movie, the power drops out, and the projector will stay powered for the period of time before our generator kicks in. I'm okay, I think, if the subwoofers get taken down and come back up, but I think we're much better off having the projector stay up. So yeah, Wattbox has these guys. So here's what I'm thinking. I already did the math. I think if I recall correctly, actually, you know what, I have it right here. The power spec for an NZ900 was like 440 watts, if I recall. Yep, there it is. So projector in use power consumption, NZ900, NZ800, 440 watts. So if you do the VA to watt or the watt to VA conversion, I think the 850 was required. This is another, I think these were like another few $100. List price anyway, could have been a little bit more than that. Let me double check. Come on. Yeah, these weren't very much at all. $269 list price for a standby UPS, 8 outlets. None of that matters. All that matters is that it has enough power support to properly feed the NZ900 when it's running. I would take this, and with the closet installation of the 900, I've got multiple shelves in that closet already underneath the 900. So I could so easily just set this right on the shelf underneath the projector, plug it in right there, and good to go. And so the only caveat is I believe this is fanless. I don't want a fan. So I don't want to hear anything out of this UPS, no noise. And I believe that these units are fanless. If I wanted to, I could even technically put this thing on the network and be able to see it, manage it, and stuff like that. I don't think that will be really necessary per se. But I might pick up one of these. So one of those, again, one of these. Oh, I went back from the. Come on. So I may be grabbing this to kind of finish rounding out the system. Take the M28s off the UPS, put them on some protection, and then get the UPS for the projector as well. And then I think that will be good and done for power management within the system. So a couple comments here. Srin saying, I know Anthem prefers its dealers to offer repair service. My old Anthem dealer told me if he had any issues to call him. You have to ship the receiver to him and they have to ship it out. Yeah. So again, I don't know. I don't know their dealer requirements and stuff. It's something that I'm kind of curious to look at. Paul asking, welcome, Paul. Any word on rumors from K-scape when CEC might be added to the Strato V? So we've got, if he's still with us, we had Mike hanging out with us tonight, Mike Cobb from Kaleidoscape. If you're there, if you're able to provide any hint on the CEC feature, the last that I knew, I think it was talked about. It was acknowledged on the owners forum that like CEC was a desired, or it was a roadmap feature, I think is maybe a better way to say it, for the V. But I don't think we've gotten any type of. I don't recall any specific commitment about when it may be coming. So. Yeah, Srin saying even the Wattbox, what is this, 150 IPW? Oh, I don't have a good way to copy this text. I can't see the WB150. I'd have to translate this number over here. Maybe I can look for it. WB150 IPW1B2. Oh yeah, so this is the same, but this isn't a UPS. This would just be surge. If these are really cheap, it might be good to actually have these around all the subwoofers as well. But I really wanted a mini UPS for the projector, and then that way, if we lose power, the projector stays juiced up, it stays energized without the jarring tear down of the power and then needing to restart it. And there's differences between the laser and the bulbs and fans and all that stuff, but for a couple $100 on a $26,000 projector, it's good. That's good calculus, I think, of a little extra money spent to protect something 2 orders of magnitude more expensive. So there he is. There you go, Paul. So Mike saying CEC is on the roadmap, but no time frame committed. So with it being Christmas and 10.20 is kind of hitting everybody's kaleidoscapes again right now. I would presume, I know we're not shipping any features at my day job anytime soon right now. So we're probably looking a little bit further out, I would guess, before we see 10.21 or whatever the next next feature update might be. But hopefully we get some cool stuff. Speaking of, that did come out. I did make the video on that. I wanted to kind of jump on that one when I got it. So Kaleidoscape KOS 10.20 is out with a variety of augmentations. Patch notes talked about a variety of like addressing some of like the HDMI issues, some of the sync. Oh, that's not a thumbs down. That's a thumbs up. There we go. Some of the HDMI sync issues and stuff, some of the things that people were talking about on the owners forum. It also gave us the ability to output the UI in native 1080p rather than using the internal scaling, although they did actually augment the internal scaling as well. So in my setup right now, I think I'm still running with 1080p native UI, external scaler. Let the MadVR do it. MadVR does a really nice job upscaling the UI. So a definitive improvement from prior to 10.20. So if you don't have it yet, sit tight. You'll probably have it very soon at this point. I feel like I've been seeing more and more posts on the owners forum of people now commenting that their system updated. So pretty cool. Yeah, I can guarantee it's not by the end of the year. Mike is not coding the CEC feature next week on Christmas. So we'll look towards 2025. So but yeah, so 10.20 is coming out. System should update. Pretty cool. I want to play around with one more thing as well, and it's something that we were talking about on the channel before, and that is the can we actually make the Kaleidoscape menu display in HDR? And if I recall correctly, actually from either Mike or I think it might have been James was commenting on it as well. I think it was the night that we did the hands-on, the first V setup, is if you use the did we have to use the external scaler setting, which I wasn't using before, but if you do that, you can actually get an HDR menu. So I want to play around with that, because that's another possibility to be able to reduce sync times and get to like a zero sync setup for 4K HDR movies with MadVR using the Kaleidoscape. So if I can accomplish that, I'm gonna tinker around with those settings again post 10.20 just to get to remember exactly what did what. And if I can accomplish a zero sync Kaleidoscape playback to the projector, rest assured we will have a video on that. Yeah, Jack finally got 10.20 on Monday. Nice. Yeah, I think it started to roll out, and then there was like a delay, and then my gut's telling me anecdotally, based on the number of people posting, that it's in a bigger, we're in a bigger ring fundamentally now. Michael, yeah, we need an early update, early upgrade group for K-scape owners. Yeah. So there you go, Mike, the feedback item. I know I've talked to a few folks from the owners forum that were kind of clamoring. So there's definitely a contingent of vocal folks on the owners forum that are the ones that are like talking about elements, and it would be really cool. I think a really cool idea if like somehow in conjunction with Josh and the owners forum, like people that are like, say, the tip of the spear of the Kaleidoscape enthusiast community could like register their systems or get their systems put into like a more advanced ring. So there'd been some requests for that. I was actually going to make a thread about that as well, but I've had folks asking me about that. It's like, hey, we're the ones that are commenting about stuff. Like it might even be helpful to have those folks get stuff first, because they're going to be the ones that are going to give vocal feedback. So something to Yeah, Josh. So we got a lot of the right folks here to float the idea. So if it could happen, that would be pretty cool. Like an insider group, an early access group. It probably wouldn't even be that many people altogether, but it would be, again, really, really qualified folks that are fans and enthusiasts in the system. So, oh, here's the mic. You need to be in minimize. Okay, so minimize mode changes. Minimize mode changes. Oh, it's the one that forces HDR. Okay, yeah, I think we talked about this before, right? So then it won't work with the external scaler thing. So keep that on. Hopefully, keep that on the feature list right there next to Paul's CEC. The ability to do some do native HDR or HDR output menus for the display mode stuff. Sran's saying, I noticed some Kaleidoscape dealers are pushing Strato C. Is there that much inventory? Interesting. So I don't know. I'm not pushing Strato C. So I can't really comment. I haven't really talked to other dealers. I think that Jim actually commented Cinelife on the owners forum that that the C may be working its way towards kind of being phased out, which hasn't been specifically announced or communicated to anybody. So he said that. So I'm going off of what Jim said, not any official communication or anything like that. So we did have the price reduction. So I don't know if what you would describe as pushing the C has to do with maybe the fact that it's cheaper now by $1,000. So if somebody's buying a server, somebody's coming to a dealer and said, I want to buy a server day one, and it helps them make the sale because the server plus the C is cheaper than the server plus the V. And if they're buying a smaller server, the movie promo credits that you get right now are a good bit less than the straight up price difference of the C. It might also have been, I could also see, like, if per the video, I made this video as well. It's one video that I was able to make within the last few weeks. Is I had it on my mind because I have been having this conversation about, do you want a C or do you want a V? Everybody that's been buying from me has pretty much universally still been buying Vs. That's what they want. Or in many cases, they're buying the Vs because they're not buying servers. And so it's like, if you're not buying a server, you're buying a V anyway, just by default, because that's what the offerings are. But if you're buying a server or you have a server and you have a choice, I think there's a few things to consider in the calculus. And, the UI resolution is one of them. But a lot of the things that were in the calculus are kind of diminishing as well. So I don't know. I don't know what other dealers are saying. I know when I talk to folks, I try to get an understanding of, like, what they have, where they're going with their system, and what they want to spend, and what their Kaleidoscape roadmap might be, and just kind of figure out the best details or the best situation from there. But by and large, most people that are coming new into the platform are just buying Vs anyway, standalone, and then some of them are starting to come back to get servers. Speaking of coming back to get servers, I actually, I know this is something that I get asked about a lot. It's like, oh, do you have some used equipment? Do you have any, like, trade-ins and stuff like that? And the answer has generally been no. I haven't really been wanting to do a lot of, like, trade-in business because I've just, I really don't want to have large inventory. It's not like I'm a big enough dealer that I want to have, like, racks and shelves of stuff that needs to be sold. I want to turn equipment into dollars and not shelfware. I'd rather have the dollars. I don't need the inventory. But there was a customer that I'm actually dealing with or working with right now. Dealing with sounds negative. It's definitely not negative, but somebody that I'm working with right now that is going to upgrade a server to a larger one. And it actually was a mutually, it worked out to mutual benefit to go ahead and do, like, a trade deal in this case. So anyway, I'm blathering, but long story short, I will end up having a 22 terabyte compact Terra and I'll end up posting this. I know this is buried in a multi-hour live stream. So, but again, there's a lot of things that I wanted to get to tonight. But I will have a used, still under warranty for quite a while, 22 terabyte compact Tera coming into my hands to resell, basically. So if anybody's thinking of adding a server and you want to get it at a great price, significantly less than a 24 terabyte would cost, I have that now, and I'm happy to line up a purchase for that, and then I'll be able to get it to you in just a matter of time, couple of weeks or something, while the other upgrade comes, and then everything kind of gets shuffled through. So that one will be available. I'm going to mention that out to a variety of folks that have bought Vs, because again, that question, I feel that question a lot, which is like, yeah, I got the V. The V's awesome. I'm really enjoying this, and let me know if you get a server in, a used server on trade or whatever. So I think it'll go pretty quick. And again, it's working out a lot better for this other person, because they were going to add a server, and then they would have had multiple servers and stuff. And it's like, you know what, we can make this work, that instead of adding a server and having two, let's just get you into one bigger server, and we'll turn this other server over to a new home. So that's the gist of that. And again, I'll be kind of sharing the details and moving that one on coming up here. Josh saying prices of Cs seem anecdotally to be rising on the forum marketplace, as some really want the 4K UI and don't need the DV. So maybe that's part of it as well. Like, because again, per Jim's comment, maybe they're, I would say actually the opposite from Srin's comment, is that there's maybe not too many Cs, is that in short order, there are not going to be enough Cs for people that want them. So it's going to be interesting. I've always paid attention to the used market prices for Kaleidoscape, and I feel like the Cs really went low there for a little while. But like you said, they're kind of they're coming back, yeah, as some folks want the 4K UI. I know inevitably I'm going to end up with both a Kaleidoscape player in my theater and in the living room, particularly with some of the things that are coming to the living room. And even right now, I myself am a little bit torn about, like, what do I want to buy? I already have one V, so it's a matter of, what do I buy for the second player? Do I just buy another V and then I just have two Vs and that's great? Or do I buy a C while it's still possible to get them and whatnot? And I put the C in the theater and I move the V to the living room. And then the V is on the Dolby Vision television in the living room. The C is downstairs where we have the bigger screen, the native 4K UI. But the thing that I'm most concerned about in that all of that calculus, as an engineer and a software developer that builds features and whatnot, is if in fact Jim's comment proves to be true, and the C is going to kind of liquidate out and then be done, I wonder if at some point in time, like, the V is the new platform, it's the new chipset, it's new architecture, like the new things. At some point, the new stuff is going to come. Potentially, is it only going to come to the new hardware? So, and then if that one doesn't get a feature or something like that, I'd rather have the feature. So there's just that's really the big debate in my mind. But we'll see. We'll kind of see where that goes. Jack's saying, I heard a rumor there's a limited run 16 or 18. I have heard this as well. And to be honest, yeah, Srin saying, I saw an ad from Dream Media. There's an 18. 18 is what I think the number is. My understanding is that this was like a limited release, like almost like a special edition kind of thing. And I don't know if it came and went really quick. But I actually learned about this from a Facebook reply in one of the Kaleidoscape user groups. So I don't think that this even got posted to the owners forum, and I don't even remember seeing. I'm literally looking at the price list right now, and it's not in the price list, and I don't think it was even. Yeah, like I don't know. It's kind of like a ghost to me, quite honestly. I don't know what the deal was with the 18. Maybe if Mike knows something and can comment. Um, Sammy's saying it was an email. I must have missed that then, um, or it was an email with some other content. Let me do a quick check on this. Yeah, I'm looking for the last. Oh, I think I might know the email that it was in, and maybe I just overlooked this. Oh, no, it's not in this one. I feel like I actually feel like I missed some communications because what I made a comment before when the 22 was turned into the 24. Um, when the 22 was turned into the 24, I feel like I missed that as well because I remember making a comment and I forget who it was, but I referred to it as kind of like a silent update, and then that I think that made somebody upset. And it's like, it wasn't silent, it was communicated. And like, I never saw communication. So I feel like there may be some certain things that I'm not seeing. I may need to ask about that. But in any case, so yeah, this exists, and it's available. I believe it is um, it's a limited thing, like while supplies last. My gut would tell me that, right, they use all kinds of different sizes for all kinds of different combinations of Terras, and I think like 18 is not an active drive size right now to make any of the current models. So maybe they had 18 terabyte drives and figured, hey, let's throw them all in some compact Terras and put them out at a price that fits, that seems pretty logical of a thing to do and a reason to do that. So Josh, how much for the 22? I needed to decide that. Actually, I was looking for comps on the owners forum, and I feel like 22s and 24s seem to have been selling around like 5,500. So basically, price it kind of in a similar zone. I think I was thinking to put it up for 6 or like maybe 5,750 and go from there. If you're possibly interested in it, we can talk offline. But I'd love to line up a sale for it so that it's locked and done. And again, it doesn't sit on my shelf for any large length of time. Sammy's saying he went with 2 Cs, couldn't do a V, especially in the theater. Um, I thought about that as well, which is like if I have the player connected to the server for the theater, maybe I would do a V in the living room and leave it standalone just so that I would be able to make content on and comment on the standalone UI, but I don't think I'll really do that. Yeah, so yeah, Dream Media. So $69.95 for the 18 terabyte, um, which would be, I suspect that that's probably list price. So a few $1,000s more than the 8, but that's not a good, it's a pretty decent price actually relative to the like price per terabyte. I think I have to do the math, but a 24 terabyte list price is 10,500, and an 8 terabyte is 5 grand. So if that's 7, it's not even quite halfway in between, but it's uh, much closer in size to 24 than 18. So pretty cool. I need to find out about that and probably actually promote it a bit more. So the bundle the bundle, yeah, the bundle's not a savings. So that's just 69,995 effectively plus 39,995. Yeah, Mike. So Mike, what we're talking about is the 18 terabyte like limited run or special edition Tera. I need to get some information about that and publish it. I feel I'll probably reach out to my my dealer folks tomorrow, excuse me, or this evening and find out, because it's kind of like the second type of that news that I feel like I didn't get. So anyway, I'll catch up on it. So if anybody wants a used 22, hey, for even cheaper than a good bit cheaper than the new 18, I've got it for you. So the other thing that just to share, because it's just hanging out, sharing's fun. That's kind of come up is with the whole like engagement is I've actually been talking to a lot of folks, like some real more like deeper system specifications, which has been really fun. Basically helping folks. I had a friend of a friend that wanted to upgrade a system locally, an audio system, and at the end he ended up with a bunch of full cal 300 in walls and like super happy with the result. And then another community member that is in Michigan, I've had the opportunity to meet. He came over when I did the get together and the demo day. Is like kind of re-racking a bunch of equipment. So long story short, I've actually had like these real integrator. So largely a lot of what I've been doing to date has been talking with folks and selling equipment, remote support and stuff, but in a lot of cases talking with pretty like qualified like DIY enthusiast folks that are good to run their stuff. But some of these other engagements have been interesting because it's like specifically the one where the folk house speakers went in. It was not somebody that's like a hands-on enthusiast. So it's like, wow, this is like the first like truck roll job to take a job, go to somebody's house, go in with ladders and tools and things and take stuff out and cut new holes and put things in and stuff like that. So I was a little leery to do it. It's like it's one thing tearing up your own house and doing AV things. Like it's not like I don't have the capability to do it because I've done it more than once all around my own house for years. But it's a different story to go to somebody else's house and take the responsibility of cutting into their walls and being up on a ladder in their house and not falling off and something like that. So the business of Techthusiasm continues to expand, and it's really a matter of time, I think, before I'd start to do, or I really decide to go do a first hands-on full job like that. But it's cool. More evolution of like the direction and opportunity and all that stuff. So pretty fun. But in the meantime, it's still cool just to get on the phone and help folks spec all their stuff out and do that. Terry, what city are you out of? I'll just say publicly that I'm in Southeast Michigan, so greater Detroit area. One of the other things that I was trying to do lately is try to do a little bit more for the channel members. There's not very many channel members, which I found actually very surprising. I figured that more people would do the YouTube channel membership type thing. Maybe I've got them priced too expensive. Like I don't have a 99-cent tier. I probably should make a 99-cent tier. But I have like a $3 tier and I think a 10 or 10.3 and 10, I think is what I've got set up for 2 tiers. I've been a little bit afraid to try to do more with memberships and Patreon and stuff like that, just because it's another thing that requires time investment. And but I really want to try to do like some insider stuff for that and step it up a little bit. So I've been trying to like give the channel members a little bit more of like a inside scoop, like some pre-announcement and that. So no specific commitments, or maybe I need to actually go into the memberships and add the 99-cent tier and add some more rewards to the levels. But I'm thinking about doing like just a monthly insider video or something like that. Basically, start of the month, not a lot of editing, whatever, but just kind of like the inside baseball of what's going on, or what's set up for the next month and what's coming. That might be kind of neat. And the other thing that I've been doing, YouTube made this actually really easy to do, is whenever I queue a video up, I usually schedule my stuff, because to me, I feel like it's still better to make sure to, I really want to strive to have a weekly video. And so sometimes it's better to stretch stuff out than it is to just like make a bunch of videos, dump them all, and then go a longer period of time without publishing anything. I think that feeds the YouTube algorithm and the results and stuff better. But they make it really easy in Studio now to like set a video to publish publicly later on in the future, but make it available to members automatically in the interim. So I have started to do that a little bit as well. So, hey, if you haven't done it and you're thinking about it, rest assured, I'm trying to give some extra value through the whole channel membership thing, which effectively means early access to videos and some content, maybe days, if not in some cases, perhaps like a few weeks before something may be scheduled to publish. So I'm going to see what I can do with that realistically as a goal for 2025, to kind of enhance and engage the idea of providing value through the channel memberships, and potentially supplement that with some kind of Patreon as well. One of the other things, I know some folks have asked about this, a number of contents. I know Julius was one as well, as what's going on with the subwoofers. I made mention. I'm lagging in actually putting in the effort to sell my SB16s, but my intent remains to sell the SB16s and buy a quad pair of SB17s. I've already kind of got the collaboration discussion kind of set up to be able to do that. I just need to sell what I have, and I haven't taken the efforts. I just haven't taken the full effort to do that. I need to put some sales posts up and try to move those. So hey, if anybody happens to be, again, watching this one, I'm buried in the middle of a long podcast, in particular if you're local for a pickup, great opportunity to pick up some SVS SB16 subwoofers, to make the upgrade, kind of because I can. I think I've also been a little leery of wanting to engage on Facebook Marketplace, because I actually got ripped off just recently here on Facebook Marketplace, where I ended up taking, I don't remember if I talked about this on a prior live, but I ended up getting paid counterfeit money, and I didn't catch it. So I got ripped off to the tune of about $650, I think, which was infuriating to say the least. Stupid tax on my part, I guess. But yeah, so I have a chip on my shoulder about dealing with Facebook Marketplace. So yeah. So anyway, if anybody's looking for SB16s, those are available as well. All right. And then the last thing, this is going to be a little bit of a tease. I'm not ready to kind of fully divulge. I'm right on the cusp of kind of closing the opportunity. I teased it a little bit. I teased it to channel members, actually, kind of gave more of the full scoop to the channel members. And there's definitely a tease in the thumbnail for the video. If folks notice, there is a Focal Utopia in-wall speaker on the thumbnail of tonight's stream. So I have been in discussion with folks from Focal, and we're gonna we've got conception of some pretty awesome like opportunity collaboration. I'm definitely paying for some speakers, but it's a really great opportunity. When I did the Focal 1000 home theater upgrade, in a number of videos from the beginning of that, and since then, I've made reference to the concept that I spec'd the speakers I spec'd because I did what like legitimately what I could and wanted to pay for and afford at the time. But I left the 1000 series is so cohesively mapped out so well. It's one of the reasons that I really like that model lineup so much, is that you have the rounds, you have the bookshelf, you have the bigger speaker, and then you have the Utopia. And so, depending on the layout of your system, you can make choices of how big do you go for everything, how big do you go for your LCR versus what do you do for your bed layer surrounds and stuff like that. And when I liked these speakers so much, and I did the living room upgrade here, and we put the IW LCR6s in the living room, the Utopias has always been on my mind as like as an end game speaker choice, and like end game speaker goal, both for the theater and for the living room. And one of the other absolutely fantastic thing about the 1000 series speakers is they're all the same width. So the Utopia, the IWLCR6, and the IW6 all are the same width. They're just different heights. So if you put in a smaller one, and you want to upgrade that speaker in that location later on, you can do it so well within line because you just cut you just cut a taller hole. Because the biggest problem with in walls is once you make your holes, you can't change stuff very easily. So if you have one in wall speaker and you want to go to a different in wall speaker, and the new in wall speaker is less wide than the hole that you cut for the first one, you got some pretty involved drywall work and stuff to do. So I think it's great that they made the line so cohesive in that way. So the tease is that Utopia is coming. Techthusiasm household here, the home theater. We're going to Utopia, but I'll save more of the specific details and stuff about that once we really kind of get moving on the project or projects, so to speak. The challenge in the living room here is now I'll really have the fire lit under me to I'll really have the fire lit under me to get this wall rebuilt. So where are we at? This section of the wall, of course, this section, I can't run my finger the right way. This section is angled forward because there used to be the speakers up there. And so we need to get the whole wall defaced, have the drywall torn completely down, take the trim off, get it so that it's flush. It's one nice flush vertical piece here. And then rejigger some of the framing so that the brown rectangle around the TV is ever so slightly too small to fit a 97-inch OLED, an LG OLED in there. So we got to get the TV inset opened up a little bit, get the goofy angled forward section removed, get the channels where the speakers are opened up a little bit more so that we have enough vertical space to fully house the much taller Utopia and the Utopia speaker sub model combo. And then so 2025 is going to be, I mean, we'll be doing a speaker upgrade in the theater, looking to do the subwoofer upgrade in the theater, and then like the theater is largely going to be set, I think, for quite a while. And I'm hoping, and my expectation is that 2025 will focus back a little bit more into the theater room. And so it may be a while to get this stuff installed. We actually have other projects in the household that we need some handyman work for, and I'm not the one that's going to be reframing and re-drywalling this wall. That's a higher out job. So we'll see what we can get. But I am so jazzed about this. Like, God, the theater room. This theater room is going to be like top of the area, like top of the state, kind of thing. Not quite to arts level, perhaps, with the Christie and all that stuff, but legitimately probably, at least as far as I know, the second best home theater in Michigan is coming together here as we speak. With just, we've got the video chain set now, Kaleidoscape, MadVR, NZ900, Panamorph, and the audio chain is really great. But the speakers are really gonna be a finalization element of the room. So I remain committed to architectural speakers. I really love architectural speakers, and really love the Focal stuff. So super jazzed about this. And we've got a few more things that we need to talk about, and some more stuff as well that could potentially come under the umbrella of the project. But man, I am super excited for this. And yeah, the rate of opportunity just continues to go up. I've had the idea, the roadmap of these upgrades. It's always been in the back of my mind. It's been percolating for a while. It's just a matter of like needing to get the right, get all the right pieces having come together, and they really have. So super proud and happy and all that. So excited for that. Sharon is asking, is there a huge difference between the 16s and 17s? I don't know, honestly. This is one of the things that I'm really, just to be honest, like I'll do it because I can. Why not have the latest, greatest model? I think, like Julius is saying too, I've same thing. I've heard nothing but good things about the 17. If it was just a person kind of like you're buying, the price value of the 16s is hard to overlook at the moment, for sure. So, and again, I cut a great deal on my 16s if anybody wants to pick those up. Sammy's saying, good chance. That'd be a good chance to fix screen. Yeah, obviously we're gonna have to take the screen down and to make to reinstall some speakers and stuff in the room. So we'll see. All right. Any other comments here? Srin saying 2025 will be the year for me to finish my theater. Cool. Nice. Paul, we just upgraded our living room, very similar to your designs. It worked out great. Cafe-in walls. Yep. Love it. Yeah, Srin, buy your 16s. I live too far away. Yeah, shipping would be a lot. We'd have to crate them, and we'd have to freight them. So you'd have to crate, put them on a crate, stack them, bind them up. That's how SVS ships them. They ship them on crates, freight, and you'll get 2 subs stacked. If you buy multiples, you get 2 subs stacked on a crate with like the metal bands, and they'll be all wrapped up and with the thicker cardboard edge protection and stuff like that. I'm guessing that to sell these, I'm really going to end up wanting or needing to sell them locally, local pickup. So, well, thanks for your review on the GIK panel. It's going to be ordering by acoustics. Oh, nice. Ordering the acoustic panel, audio device. Micro for me, Max. Yep. Yeah. By acoustics is something that, oh yeah, you made that comment twice. Sorry. I think I missed it the first time. By acoustics is something that I want to take a look at here soon as well. Or maybe there could be other things afoot that we will be talking about at some point in the future. Oh wait, I don't want to go. Sorry. Why is this? Give me 1 second. There's one other. Yeah, I want this page. One other really cool announcement that was made. I didn't make a video about this, but I think it's kind of very interesting and worth chatting about for at least just a few minutes here. Coming up on 2 hours, and I can feel my throat. So anybody see this speaker? This was all the rage around a lot of YouTube. Focal, they did a big event, kind of announcing and showcasing this. I know, like Shane, the Audioholics, and some of those folks were there, and a variety of other upscale audio channel. It's a channel that I really like. Actually, it was upscale. It was the upscale audio guys. Oh, I forget his name. That actually introduced me to Focal. Yeah, upscale audio. I forget the guy's name. He's in all their Kevin. Yeah. So Kevin, when I was originally conceiving of the first iteration of my theater, and I was shopping speakers, and I don't remember what it was, but something led me to calling these guys, and I ended up talking with Kevin for a while, and he sold me my first Focals. He sold me the Electras that made up the basis of the first theater. So anyway, they had a video on this also, but I think this is a really interesting speaker, a really interesting product in a couple of different ways. So you're basically looking at a Utopia level speaker. So it's expensive. It's a premium product. It's a luxury product. Lifestyle product is the term that gets used a lot. These are $40,000 a pair, but it's not just a passive speaker. You get there's a new iteration of the Beryllium Utopia tweeter, all of the same Utopia level materials and fit and finish and all of that. There's dual woofers, 6.5 inch, I think, woofers on either side. So it's a lot of the same speaker drivers and technology that are in the in-wall Utopia that I'll be getting, but it's an all-in-one, and I find this really intriguing to me. So this is everything, right? If you have a high-end 2-channel setup, there's 4 amplifiers, as I understand it, 4 amplifiers inside the speaker. So the tweeter, the mid-range, and the bass, and each side, right? Each side of the bass driver pairs are amped independently. You plug everything directly into one speaker, and then it has both like a super high-speed, low latency wireless connection to the other speaker, or there's like a uplink port. You can use a RJ45, a wired connection between the two. It's got analog left and right audio line in. There's an optical line in. There's an HDMI eARC connection as well. They're networkable themselves. It connects wirelessly, like Wi-Fi, I think Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all that kind of stuff. AirPlay. It's like name electronics inside, and Focal speaker built around it. Powered speaker, of course, so that you plug them both in. You plug them into each other, plug it to your system, or run it wirelessly. I'm so intrigued by this product, and I thought it was really interesting. Actually, I was watching Shane's video about it, and I forget who he was talking to. He was talking to one of the Focal folks, and he made one of the most astute comments. I think, like, interview comments, which is basically like, you know what, like, this is a really great looking speaker, but what happens if you cut it off and you make a bookshelf version of it, or whatnot? And they kind of like basically coyly said that, this is a Diva speaker, not the, I think, Diva speaker. So there could be more, and they actually hinted to the concept of like an even bigger brother, sibling, so to speak, was like the joke that they had in the video. I think that was a really smart question that Shane picked up on. Shane Lee did. But I think this is really cool. If I didn't have a in this house and in this space, an affinity and already a structure built around the concept of architectural speakers. And instead I did have like a floor stander type setup. God, these would be immediately on my short list of something speakers that I would be looking at very, very strongly. Because even at 40K a pair, I mean, we're talking all of this list prices, of course, but MSRPs at 40,000 MSRP, 2 Utopia in walls is 18 grand. They're 9,000 a piece. And then I've got an Anthem STR preamp, which is probably like a $5,500 MSRP preamp. I've got an NADM 23, which is another few $1,000. I've got the subwoofers and the subwoofer amps that go with them. It's like the system, and then we'll see what I needed to figure out some things for all of the stuff that's going to change in the living room. But you take 2 Utopia speakers, you take 2 Utopia subs, you got the preamp and the amplifiers and everything to power and run all that stuff. You're spending 40K, or comparatively speaking, you're in the ballpark, if not exceeding it. And there's so much cool engineering efficiency that comes from having everything like directly built in, and the stages of how stuff is connected, independent amplifiers, again, it's like an 800 watt amplifier per speaker, but delivering power individually to each of the drivers. I just think this thing is really cool. I'm really interested to be able to check this out firsthand. And if I, not that I have reason to use one again, because as long as we live in this house, like that speaker wouldn't fly, it wouldn't work in the living room or in the theater or anything like that. But man, if we ever moved, we downsized to a smaller, we downsized to a smaller place. I didn't have a dedicated theater room, and I like a couple of these speakers, I think, and depending on seating distance and room size, like a couple of these speakers and a 97-inch G4, or like a 115-inch TCL QM8 is a heck of a system. So so yeah, I don't know. This got me really excited. I'm curious to see where they go with this and what the response is and all that. So pretty sweet. All right, just looking for some comments here. Again, we'll kind of be wrapping up probably pretty soon. If anybody has other comments, questions, topics, items, something else that you want to bring up and hit on, otherwise we'll call it a night here and chill out for a little while, rest my throat, and get up. I haven't worked out in like 2 weeks because of the way, maybe even more than that. I don't even know, because of the way that I've been feeling. And I'm really hoping to finally get up tomorrow morning and get back on the train of working out in the early AM. Yeah, geez, what's today? I've worked out twice. 1, 2, yeah, 2 weeks and 2 days since my last workout. I worked out twice in December 1st and 2nd. So I gotta get cracking on that thing. My momentum was so good for so long there. Scott saying picked up a PS5 Pro for the theater. Nice, enjoying frame rate and quality improvements. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So I didn't make the video. Like, I'm such a moron. Like when the PS5 Pro was hot and everybody was getting their content out, and I'm watching other people's videos with like tens of thousands of views. It's like, man, I should be sharing my PS5 Pro opinions. I just couldn't get to making the content. And I was even trying to talk with some folks, some other YouTube friends, content creators. It's like, God, we should get on a live stream and we should talk about this stuff. And I couldn't do it. I actually need to reply to them and kind of apologize because I proposed some big ideas and I couldn't deliver on them. Getting everything together and finalizing it. But long story short, that's awesome. The PS5 Pro is 100% the best console we've ever had. So if I wasn't PC gaming, I would be gaming on a PS5 Pro, 100%. So let's see, folks talking about the panels and stuff. It's cool. Julius, what are your thoughts on Bose's acquisition of Macintosh and Sonus Farber? I don't know if that I have really much of an opinion. Bose is what it is, and I think like if you really look at the details behind the scenes, there's a lot of consolidation in this hobby to begin with, and a lot of consolidation in this hobby to begin with, and a lot of brands that are like subsidiaries or connected to other brands. Sometimes we don't even realize the extent of that. So, I mean, at least in some respects, right? I guess I don't know all the business details, but if having audio brands owned by other audio brands versus like potentially venture capital, or because I think I'm thinking more of like the other rumoring that's been going on that like Denon and Marantz are going to get sold and stuff, and I think that's a case where it's like venture capital and a holding company or Sound United or whatever, companies own companies that maybe don't have the passion for the business industry, so to speak. So if those brands get moved under companies that have passion for the business of the specific industry, it's probably not all a bad thing. I have no idea about the quality of management and whatnot of Bose. If like maybe these brands they'll be subject to better leadership, better vision, something like that. I think the big question is like, do they get left alone? Do they get kept as a premium corner? Right? Or do they integrate more? Does being part of Bose like make them cheaper or make them more pedestrian and less exclusive or less luxury in some way? That kind of stuff, time will tell. Macintosh isn't really something that I've necessarily aspired to own. I think it's cool. It definitely has like a certain vibe, right? A certain vibe, appeal, and presentation, which I respect. But it's not a brand of equipment that I've specifically moved to integrate into my setup relative to what the stuff that I've chosen to use. Never say never, but I have really been impressed by every time that I've experienced them, which has really been Audio Advice Live. I've been impressed by the Sonus Farber stuff. The Stradivarius is an immaculate speaker. So I think again, really premium brand, really, really nice craftsman level stuff for sure. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the long run. If I was contemplating buying any of this stuff, would this acquisition make me pause or change anything? I don't know. Probably not. Because ultimately, again, it's like Bose is a long-standing audio company, right? With a long history behind it. So they're definitely like, committed. And if they're adding, if they're picking up these companies and adding these brands, somebody on the business side is thinking about levels, right? And levels of offerings and whatnot. So Bose Corporation has been in business since 1964. So, God, what is that? 60 years. They're on a 60-year anniversary of Bose. So that should speak to the fact that like probably Macintosh and Sonus isn't going anywhere, and it's going to open up a new dimension hopefully actually strengthen them in some ways. So I guess my ultimate response, what are my thoughts? I would be hopefully more hopeful than anything else. So, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. Also news. Oh, Vox Audio. What is? I'm not even sure. Holding company. What is part of Vox Audio Group? Got acquired by Gentex. Yeah, I think just generally in business, aligning businesses through acquisition strengthens should hopefully be done to strengthen more than strengthen businesses rather than weaken brands. So, Gary, welcome. Just got a Strato V. Keeps defaulting to Dolby Vision, but I'm using a projector. Can it default to HDR? I'm not sure what you mean by default. If you have a V connected to something that isn't Dolby Vision capable, it shouldn't be playing in Dolby Vision. So I don't know if maybe you have a video processor that's enabling some LLDV. I think I would need to know more about the setup potentially. But like if you're connecting to an HDR projector, the system should know the capabilities of what it's connected to. It should be downloading HDR and playing HDR, or it could still fundamentally download the DV format of a movie, but output it as HDR10. So I think there's a couple of different questions there of what is your download, what are you connecting to, what is it outputting, and those could sometimes be different things, or might be look confusing. Fly. Oh wait. Oh, I just missed. No, that was Gary. Sorry, I meant to click on this one. Yeah, last call for questions. We're going to wrap it up pretty soon here. Your phase one of Ubiquity made me want to upgrade my network setup and build a server cabinet comprised of Ubiquity. Again, I think the stuff is fantastic. I'm all in. And so this is phase two. Phase one was all the core networking stuff. Phase two is the cameras and the doorbell. I'm conceiving already of a phase three, and well, even potentially, let's say three or four, or 3A and 3B. I'm looking at their NAS, to be honest. I think there's some definite things that Synology does in software that Ubiquity wouldn't do, or doesn't do yet, and I need to decide if those things are super important to me or not. But I have to admit that after getting all of the rest of the Ubiquity equipment that I have now starting to accumulate, there is a certain draw to wanting my NAS to be in the same ecosystem. That's one of the things I've really been trying to do, is like commonize ecosystems of things that we have and that we use. So I'm really looking at it at that. I've been watching some videos and kind of learning about its capabilities. I just need to decide if I need my Synology to do more stuff that the Ubiquity NAS doesn't do, or doesn't do yet, potentially, I guess. And then the other thing that I really like, their audio streamer amp unit. Yeah. There it is. Ubiquity even took out an integrated Wi-Fi amp. Yeah, this guy, I think it's in here. Yeah. Actually, here, let's go back. So this is the NAS. This price is fantastic. $500 for a 7-bay NAS, rack mounted, 10G networking, and fits in with all the Ubiquity stuff. But a couple things, like it doesn't, like Synology wins so hard with Synology Hybrid RAID. SHR is just an absolute win. And then there's a couple things that our Synology NAS does, and or that I may want it to do that this doesn't really do very well. So like there's the Cloud Sync app on Synology is a game changer for what we use it for. Really important to our setup. I'd have to find a way to get around things lacking that HomeKit running, or a home bridge, running the NAS as a home bridge. I don't think Ubiquity has anything that can be a home bridge. So that may prove to be important. And then I've tried unsuccessfully, so this isn't a use case yet, but lately I have tried a few times. I really wanted to run a Windows 11 virtual machine on the NAS, and I wanted to get parallels and stuff off of this Mac, and I've been completely unsuccessful in the VM app capability of the Synology to actually take a Windows 11 install. It locks and it fails. So, but if I don't need that, then that's not a feature. So anyway, I'm looking at this, and then to get to the audio component, this thing looks cool. This thing looks fantastic. And it's a little more than I would like it to be. I wish this was like $399, because I've got the MDX 16. What does this actually cost? I forget what so an MDX 16 is $3,500 and does basically 8 zones. So what's 8? 6 times 8 is 48. So 8 of these would be 4,800. That's a lot. It's a lot more. And then you got to plug them all in independently. But if you didn't have a lot of zones, like if you had a couple, 2, 3 distributed audio zones, this thing looks really, really nice. Network operated, Class D amps, good power, AirPlay 2. So part of me is like, could I potentially want to rack up? Do we really need 8 zones of audio? Do we actually use 8 zones of audio? From the original 8 zones that we originally spec'd, 1 zone was the theater, which doesn't need to be a distributed audio zone anymore. So that one's kind of a dead zone. 1 is an upper bedroom that it never gets used. We have speakers in our office. I've never played audio to those speakers, because if I'm in the office and I have something listening to, I either have earbuds in or I'm just playing it to my computer. And conceivably, we have 2 separate zones for our porches, and they don't really need to be separate zones. Like both porches, if you wired the speakers in parallel, if one of these could drive a set of speakers in parallel, we could get enough. We could just have both porches play at the same time, and then we'd have 4 zones, 4 power amps instead of the MDX 16 in the Ubiquity system, with direct AirPlay 2 to the zone, and without having to go through Control4. I find that very attractive in a lot of ways. So thinking about those, the NAS and the power amp. So, but I can't recommend the Ubiquity stuff enough. The power control information that you get is just, it's so good. Let's see. Gary commented there. Oh, Mike responded to Gary. Might be referring to download default. If it's an HDR display, the V will default to download Dolby Vision. Yeah, because it'd be converted. Okay. Yep. So there is no. I would agree with this. It would be nice. It would be nice to be able to set a default download format at like as a system level thing, even if it was like on the UI, on the IP web UI of like the Terra or something like that, but download as primary format, automatic, or specify something. Because I've been choosing to download HDR10 copies myself, even though we have a V, but we're using the V in the theater where I don't have any LLDV or stuff enabled. And every time I download a movie, I double check it. It's like, oh, because it wants to download Dolby Vision by default, but I check it over to download the HDR10. It was a really cool question. It's kind of actually I took it away. This really speaks back to the concept of these guys. Hold on, I'm going to turn the fireplace back on. Boom, look at that. Control4, baby. All right. Didn't even have to get up and walk 4 feet. All right, McFly, welcome. New name. So some new folks coming out. Lots of regular friends hanging out. Always fun. And some new folks as well. Cool to see. In your experience, how important is the center channel? I have a 6.1 living room setup. 6.1 living room setup. So left and right, side surrounds, rear surrounds, probably. And I'm an audiophile, 2-channel enthusiast first. So right now I have great imaging and soundstage because I dialed everything in. I'm not sure if a center channel will give me that same holographic experience I have now. So what I will say to this is there's no center channel in my living room, and I've had this running like this for 2 years, over 2 years. Yeah, the last tour video was 2020, mid 2022. I think it was before that we actually, yeah, quite a while. So I use Phantom Center in here. I think it's fantastic. I don't know if I think Arc Genesis in the Anthem STR plays a significant role in it working as well as it does. But we have a very long couch here, umpteen feet long, L shape, and I can sit anywhere on this couch, which puts me way out. So again, I'm sitting, actually, if I look right at the TV, my eyes are falling in the inset space, just on the outside of the screen. And I can sit here and it sounds to me like voices and audio is locked dead center on that screen. So I could get by without a center channel, certainly in a living room, and be completely happy. So per what I was talking about earlier, if we decided to move tomorrow, which is something we've contemplated, we've thought about selling this house because like sometimes we just get really tired. I know I do anyway. Maybe I should say I, not we. I get really tired of making mortgage payments, and like life's too short, man. I just want to be mortgage free. And I don't want to spend even a few more years pumping the money in sometimes to want to pay this house off. But we could sell it, take the equity, and go buy something really nice with cash. But it's going to be it'll be a change. But if we had to move, we relocated, we went to another home, and I couldn't have a theater, and I had a media space combo living room only, I would do a 2-channel system, I think, in that type of environment, and I would be completely happy with it. I wouldn't sweat not having a center. I wouldn't sweat not having surrounds and all the other stuff. But I would buy 2 Mondo maximum speakers, massive full range speakers capable of delivering an audio experience that's going to be beyond belief, and be completely happy with it. So especially, and I'll have that accomplished once we get this done in here, because nominally speaking, I'll end up having that. I hope to have a 97-inch OLED, and then we'll have the Utopia focals in here. I will be completely fine to watch a movie in this room. The theater is great, but I would be completely content to watch a movie in this room as well. So I think this is actually a conversation that I'm going to have with somebody kind of consulting coming up, is like, sometimes if you can't do stuff, don't sweat it. Like, if it's the wrong choice, you can't, we just can't get surrounds in here. We can't, it doesn't work. And I can only have 2 speakers overhead. I can't have 4. It's like, just do what you can well, because my experience has been, whenever I've tried to force stuff into an environment, into a system setup, a logistic where it doesn't really work, it doesn't work. And it's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. The performance is weak and compromised as a result anyway. And it's like, it's just not worth it. So if your setup is what you want it to be, you got what you want out of it, and introducing a center channel complicates things and all that, then I wouldn't sweat it at all. If I think the results can be can head very well, because like this room specifically, right behind me is where a side surround should go. There's no side surround going there. There's the shelf, built-in bookcase with a little bit of space, a window, and a fireplace, and then we're already halfway past the midpoint of the room. See if I can do this without dropping it, right? The bookcases go, I should probably do this. The bookcases go all the way around. So where are you going to put a rear back surround speaker? It would be in this doorway. Over here, that other rear side surround, well, maybe it could go on this shelf somewhere, but where are you going to put a left surround? Standing on a stand in the middle of that open concept? It's like, forget about it. There's no surround sound going in this room. So, but the sound that really high-end speakers can kick out, properly calibrated and integrated into the room, is all that I would want and need out of it. So sometimes less is more when it comes to stuff, or maybe even a better way to say it, less is more in terms of quantity of things, but take the money that you're going to spend and plow it into the like super premium, best quality, that elements of what you are actually going to buy. So that's my take. So can't do a dedicated home theater, and you're not going to have a $25,000 projector and a $10,000 lens and all of this stuff on it. Go buy a 97-inch OLED, right? You spend less money anyway. So, all right, 2.5 hours. I really got to call it. I need some mental downtime before it's bedtime, and I need to work out in the morning. So this was fun. We hit all my bullet points are empty. I'm going to cross off the Diva Utopia. So stay tuned. Like I said, content slowed down a little bit, but I'm still here, still kicking, and I've got more ideas than I can create videos for. It's actually a good thing I've had my son editing for me. So I need to get back on the track of like kicking out content, making the content that I can turn it over and my kids can do the work. So we can start publishing more, maybe get some things in the kitty, try to reward the channel members a little bit more. So if you haven't done it, maybe think about that. Always much appreciated. Big Focal news coming. Lots of other integration stuff coming here. New PC build. coming. CES will be here in a matter of weeks. We'll have a lot to talk about from CES announcements and 2025 TV models. I've actually already learned that the or if you look around, the 97-inch G4 is gone. So very intriguing to me that the 97-inch G2 lasted 2 years in its product cycle. The G4 seemingly is going to be replaced in 1 year. So I'm very excited. I'm very curious to see what LG does with a 97 G5 and potentially its price. So we'll have these rebuilds come in, speaker updates, be able to comment about some of the highest end in-wall speakers that are available at all. Most premium luxury in-wall speakers, some of the most available. We'll be updating tours. I've got some other concepts to like do maybe on some of these live streams as well. And the business is growing. So if you need something, you're shopping something, all those different brands, it's all there. Go check out techthusiasm.net. Email me, jeremy@techthusiasm.net. Happy to talk, happy to help hook folks up. And yeah, having a ton of fun and getting more of the family involved and all of that stuff. So thanks everybody. We certainly won't, I don't think we'll do another live before Christmas because next Wednesday is Christmas Day. And the following Wednesday is New Year's Day. So I don't know what'll happen with that, with the next lives, but stay tuned. Watch the community area. I'll put up some postings and we'll see where we go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for coming out and coming back for more home theater discussion and fun. Have a good one. Have a great happy holidays and happy new year if we don't chat again until then. Thanks so much.